Hello traders, welcome to Trade Forex with Gabriel, and we will be looking at the weekly Forex forecast for this week, October 10th to October the 14th. As usual, we'll start off with the economic calendar, and let's move to that window. So from last week, we saw the major correction in the dollar index. And of course, I did all of this review from last week. Now, one important thing I wanted to show us is that we had a very positive NFP, which gave us a very good boost on the dollar index. Well, this has not yet given us a full bullish swing on the dollar. So going into the week, I'll be showing you what the trade setup will look like. But then let's look at what the week has in stock for us. From Monday, of course, is bank holidays in the US and in Canada, okay, also in Japan. So I don't expect much volatility across the pairs on these days. From Tuesday, we'll begin to see some movement when all pairs will be open for transaction. On Wednesday, we have GDP on news on Great Britain pounds. And also on USD, this is very, very important data, the PPI that will be coming out on Wednesday. So traders, please be very aware of this. Then we have the CPI data, another very important data that measures inflation. So this could be a major trigger of whether we will see more correction on the dollar or we will be hitting the last high that we saw from the previous week on the dollar index. I will be walking you through all of this setup. Then on Friday, we have the core retail sales on USD, then the retail sales month to month, then prelim UOM, consumer sentiment, and that is it. So pretty much this week, most of the high impact news will be affecting the dollar, and that's why I will be very cautious. Except for very high trade setups, I will be trying to stay away until I see a clear direction, although I'm fully bullish on the dollar. But let's look at the charts. Let's jump right in on the chart so we can see exactly how this all pans out. So you'll see from the dollar index, what we have, the dollar index is really the only pair right now that is in a full-fledged bullish structure. As we can see, we're yet approaching the last high, which is the 114.64 level. Now look at this. If you take a look at this, So we had that correction from last week after the ISM, but we had a nice bounce from the trend line. So I'm expecting price, okay, to consolidate a bit. You can see that we're having, what do you call it? Something more of like an inverse head and shoulder. So we could see some consolidation or some, some more correction down here before we see the breakout into the last high of 114. So traders, we still see more capital flights into the USD as the Feds continue to tighten up interest rates. So this is the pair we use to set the tone across major US dollar pairs. So I'm still very bullish on this, but I'll be careful because before Thursday, for the CPI data, we could see more correction into the trend line or break into the the red trend line we see here. So all traders, you can be very careful on that until we get clear direction that we have resumed the bullish trend. On oil, last week I was pretty much looking at oil not breaking this last high, but we see that the news of the oil OPEC plus cutting production is still very much strong. It impacted the market really strong, and we see that we're having a breakaway from the channel down pattern. And of course, for those of you that have been following my trading, this is a very good pattern or trade setup for me. Once we see a break in a channel, already where the targets will be. So on the intermediate, I will expect to see price, rally up to the 97.51 level. And if it should break, then the next level will be 105.17. So this is not coming up top priority in my trade setup. It could be a fake breakout, and we'll see price resuming in the downward trend. Of course, if you look at this on the bigger picture, all right, we still pretty much can call this still in a bearish structure, all right? But on the intermediate right now, we could see price rally up a bit. Top priority trades for me will be the NZD USD. And of course, if you look at it from the daily charts, we saw the breakout from this channel down pattern. We've been expecting this to resume its downward trajectory down to 0.5479 level. But what did we get? We got a consolidation. Well, with the consolidation still gave us more confirmation that we're headed downwards, because this is a major bearish sell-off, and then we have a consolidation, what is called a flag, and now you see we're beginning to break out with a momentum. So with the breakout with a momentum, this is price headed to 0.5479 level. Okay, so this is it. So another of my top priority trades for this week is Australian dollar USD. It has similar setup with the NZD USD, as you can see. Australian dollar USD, we had a breakout from the channel. We had a retest from the breakout point where support becomes resistance. Last week, I told you to expect a correction into this zone, and you can see how that really played out nicely. Already, we're seeing the breakout with momentum. So price, I anticipate to drop to the 0.6220 level. This is really, really nice trade setup for me, and I believe to make money into the week. But it's Forex, anything can still happen. But then this setup is pure textbook setup. Okay, let's look at Australian dollar Swiss franc. Australian dollar Swiss franc, we've been having a very nice bearish structure. We have the lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Now, it could have been that this would be the last high, but we saw how price broke away from it. But then it still maintained the structure, forming a new lower highs and still within the framework or within the boundaries of the channel. So right now, what we see, let me take you down to a lower time frame like the H1. You will see or notice that this is more like a descending triangle, and a break from here, already we see breaking with momentum. We'll see price at least drop to the last low, and I marked it here with 0.6286 level. If it breaks further from here, then I expect more drop to the 0.6220 level. Okay, let's look at NZD Swiss franc, another top priority trade for me. Let me show you what it looks like on the bigger time frame. So down structure downwards. On the H4, you see, okay, let's take it to H1. You see that price is forming here, or has already formed, a double top reversal pattern. And already we're seeing the break away from the neckline. You see that? We're already seeing the break away from the neckline, and this is breaking with momentum. All right. So with a break in momentum, of course, what you need to do is take a measurement of the neckline to the top, and that should give you the profit target, and that is the 0.5498 level. So see how it corresponds with the last low. So these things just don't happen by coincidence. Okay, so a break from there, which we're already saying, I believe price is dropping to the 0.5498 level. Euro NZD structure to the upside, and right now we're seeing a break from this bullish flag pattern, and I would get a confirmation if price could break above the 1.7462 level, and that will I will be happy to trade all the way up to 1.7660 level. Okay, now another trade. So these are my top priority trades, which is NZD, Australian dollar USD, AUD CHF, NZD CHF. Well, this is coming in fair enough, but I'll wait for this confirmation, a break above this level. Okay, a break above this level will be my trigger. And then Euro Australian dollar. This is another nice trade. So I will be watching to see this. So some of you that understand how I select this pairs, you know, I use the currency strength meter to watch out which currency is stronger than the other. So I pair strong currencies against the weak currencies and try to find the patterns that support the strength and the weakness from that analysis. Okay, last week we were bullish on USD CAD, but going into this week with the current strength we see in oil, of course, you know, Canadian dollar is a commodity pair. It gains strength when oil is gaining strength. So pretty much I don't expect so much from USD CAD. So I will be leaving it out on my priority trades for this week. But then price is anticipated to at least rise up to the upper boundary of this expanding triangle. So expect price to at least hit the 1.38354 level. Euro USD, we see capital flight from last week going into Euro futures, in case you understand how to trade that. But then what we see right now is still comparing it up with the USD. It's not coming out as top priority trade, you know, for me this week, but then it still holds some potential. Now, let me show you this. I think from the H4. So what I see from the last high to the last low, price failed to make a new high. All right. Price failed to create us a new high. So what this is, you see how it retraced into the Fibonacci 61.8 level. This is a good place to short. Often when price retraces into this Fib level, it is a good place to take your short trade and set your stop loss. So for those who still has trade in it, I trust you can hold your trade down to the, you know, last low that was previously made on Euro USD. Now let's look at gold. Gold is pretty much a bit dicey, so I will be watching it. I won't just jump right in and start selling on gold. The reason is simple. We had a double top pattern. Let me take you to the weekly chart. So we had a double top pattern, and on the double top pattern, the neckline was seen to be the 1675.85 level. Now take a look at what happened here. I think I mentioned that we will expect to see, you know, a retracement into this level, but look at how price smashed past that level. Okay, I think with the correction we saw on US dollar, okay, we saw price smash past the neckline and going way up to, you know, almost hitting the last high. Well, let me take you down to this. So if you look at this, pretty much so, gold is still in technical bearish structure. Okay, it's still technically bearish. The structure is still bearish. As you can see, we're having lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and price is failing to make new highs. Okay, so let's see. Anything can still happen. Don't forget, this is the major last high that we have here. So as long as price is still trading below the 1800s, we're still in a bearish structure. But then if you take a trade from here, what if price breaks away from this, goes all the way up here? So my comfort zone would be to see price trading below the 1675 level, and I will trade to see into the next low of gold. So traders, this is my perspective, this is my bias on gold so far. So I will watch it because heading into the CPI data, we could see more correction on gold, on US dollar, which will give further rise in the price of gold. Okay, so put that into consideration when you want to trade gold. And then we have Great Britain pound, United States dollar, GBP USD. Pretty much so I'm still bearish on this after we had the flash crash. Often when this kind of thing happens, we will see the correction, but then price is expected to drop again into the last low of the that happened during the crash. Okay, then we have Canadian dollar, Swiss franc. Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, with Canadian dollar gaining strength with oil price rising, but Swiss franc has fairly been strong. Swiss franc has fairly been strong. Right now, you can see we had a last high, last low. Look at price created a new low from here, from the previous low, and now was unable to make a new high. So pretty much we're still in a downtrend. Okay, pretty much we're still in a downtrend. So what we have here, I'm still expecting price to drop into the 0.71152 level. And then NZD JPY. On NZD JPY, we see very nice textbook structure here. We have a bearish trend, we have the flag. I will just expect to see price break below or break out from this channel. All right, price breakout from this channel. So 79.52 level is what we have. Okay, and well, I will wait to see that, but this is really textbook setup. If you can wait for this to break out, I trust price will drop to the 7952 level. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, already we see the breakout has happened with momentum, fantastic momentum. Nothing much to say about this, but to wait for price to drop to the 91.69 level. They are not coming up top priority. For those that already have trade, I think I have trade on this already running. So waiting for it to hit the 91.669 level. And then GBP JPY, on GBP JPY, what do we have here? We had the flash crash, which gave a rise or a break from this rising triangle. So what I expect is further sell-off on this, at least price to drop to the last low that we have here. So I will watch to see this happen. But traders, please trade this carefully. There are lots and lots of pips. This is over 1,000 pips, 1,200 pips. So you have to trade this carefully to find your entries along your path. And lastly, we have USA 500, which is the S&P 500. Now, last week I showed you that we broke the last low, which is the 3636.4 level. Now, just immediately after that, we began to see correction in the dollar, and we saw massive gain in the stock market. But you see how that was short-lived. Now, the structure doesn't lie. If market has taken out this last low, it means that we are at the early times of market capitulation. I've been talking about this, that we are headed, every data shows that we're headed into a major global recession. And of course, this is already being evidenced as we see price taking out the last low, as we can see here. And last week, price was unable to sustain the gain. But then we will see how it goes. I don't want to sound so pessimistic, but what the data is showing, what the market structure is showing, is that we are on a major sell-off in the stock market. So traders, put this into perspective, into context when you're trading this. So this is where I'll draw the curtain for today, and I will be with you again probably on Wednesday or on Friday, where we'll be looking at the market review for the week. And hopefully you make some money this week. If you like this, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can know when next I upload more videos and educational materials. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great, profitable week. Bye-bye.